Well, it's a Tuesday afternoon, it's 1 o'clock, silver's down 20 cents. But that's not what this is about. Now, this is going to upset a lot of people. Maybe, hopefully it will. It will because uh, I think there's a point to be made here. So, what I come to do is I come to bury Shiny Caesar. Shiny Caesar. There goes the whole play. Uh, I come to bury shiny silver, not to praise it. Forgive me, Shakespeare. Okay, now what I see is developing, besides this bubble, is the fact that uh, down the line, everybody has their own reason to buy this stuff, but down the line, silver is silver. Whether it's one of these, uh, whether you bought these like I did for 34 something, uh, when silver was $30 or 30 almost $31, or no matter what you paid for it. The point is that the value of that is 1 ounce of silver. Now this exact same thing. Now we take one of the triviums. The exact same thing here is being made in proof sets in proof coin or medallion, and they're selling for 54 or $55 as opposed to $34. Now they're out there knocking these out, proof sets. They got thousands of proof sets. Uh, I, I don't want to get into a SBSS thing here, but it's interesting. Someone pointed out that you can go to Provident and you can get the latest coins from Provident at the same price that they were released from Silver Bullion, Silver Shield. Well, that doesn't say much for their respect for the little customer. Now, many of you would go to Provident and buy them today because you'd get them by this time next week probably. Where whereas your for the most part your money's tied up with Silver Bullet, Silver Shield because they're on a 10-day hiatus trying to figure out what the fuck is wrong with their machinery, what's wrong with their entire program. But yet Provident has them, and Provident has the coins, the medallions, and Silver Bullet, Silver Shield has your money. That's not, you know, that's not that's not a good thing. Uh, but let's get talking about shiny silver. Now, years and years ago, I bought not a lot, I would say a bunch of of 10-ounce Engleharts, 1 ounce Engleharts, and 1 ounce Englehart Prospectors. And why did I buy them? Because they were the cheapest thing out there. They were the cheapest markup of any of the silver items that I could get that year. And I bought 1,000 ounces, 1986. So you can go back and check and see what the price was. And what happens was that now Englehart's out of business, and now there's a premium on Englehart 10-ounce bars. They're just 10 ounces, still 10 ounces of silver. What the hell? Uh, you go and you look at the mints today, and they are competing in trying to make more, not any pure silver or any, or put any more silver in it. What they're doing is they're making just more and more items so they can sell you more and more items. And you'll say, oh, this privy mark on a maple leaf, they're only going to do 5,000 of them, so I got to have one of them, or they're going to put out a giant 5 ounce tiger, year the tiger or something, and you'll say, oh, I got to have one. It just feels great. Look at this. It's magnificent, and they are magnificent looking. But in the long run, it's not like the old days with 90%. Now, when you pick up a Morgan, now I've told you before, when I first went to Montana to college in 1961, they were still using Morgans in place of dollar bills, and they used them right up till 64 when they took the silver out of the coins. But when you pick up a Morgan, you say to yourself, oh man, wonder whose hands this went through. This coin is 1879. And can you imagine being in circulation from 1879 to 1964? How many hands that passed through? What did that buy? That buy some chewing tobacco? Did that buy a beer? What did that buy along the way? And it's interesting to think back on that. But it's still 90% silver. Okay. Now, you buy all these coins today, and sooner or later, I'm pretty sure this stuff's going to be available in your local junk bin. And you're going to say to yourself, who's the sucker that took the hit on that? And what I think is going to be the case, I think, well, we're definitely in a bubble with the shiny silver, whereas you'll uh, I doubt that we'll see a bubble in 90% uh, silver, but in shiny silver, we're in the middle of one, and everybody wants to show off their brand new shiny silver. Now, I showed some beautiful shiny silver the other day. That the set was made in 1974, but there was $310 worth of melt value in that silver, and I paid $325 for it. So I paid $15 over all the melt silver spot, spot price of silver in those in that collectible. And I paid it not only because it was the cheapest thing out there, but it had a beautiful box. If you take the box and all, and somebody wrote and told me they're selling for $496 the last one they saw sold. Uh, but I bought it because it was the cheapest silver there. And you'll see when I did what I refer to for me was the big show because it was the biggest one I was capable of producing. You had a lot of shiny silver there, but every one of those was like a roll of pandas or something, was always the first issue, and very reasonable, a couple of bucks over spot. Same thing with the moose and the Canadian Wildlife Series. If you get those not as an investment, but as silver, and I own, well, you saw, I own some shiny silver, that I bought it because at the time it was the cheapest thing out there. I'll go on APMEX. APMEX, well, everybody I'm sure is on APMEX and mailing this, and and every day they have something. There's a special today, 44.95 or something on gold maple leaves over spot. And if you buy one or you buy 100, oh, excuse me, making a video. Call me back in 5 minutes. Making a video. Call me back in 10 minutes. Hillbilly, of course. If I want to get a phone call, make a video. And you know me, these are all one take deals. So, but the problem is that every mint now wants to outdo the the Australians. The Perth Perth mint they want to outdo the New Zealand mint that are making the turtles, and then they want to make, say, a kangaroo, and then when they get done making the kangaroo, then they send a bunch off to somebody and they paint the stupid kangaroo, which I'll tell you one thing for sure is that detracts from the value of that coin immediately. Because anything with paint on it, when it's in the junk box, you can probably buy that for below spot because the people that do the melting of these things don't want that because it's an extra added step to get rid of that paint. So don't, right flat out, don't get anything with any paint on it. Now, what happens is sooner or later everybody's going to realize this is crap. I can't afford to buy every new crappy thing that comes out. And if there's 5,000 of it and it has a privy mark, and then they paint it, and there's only 500 that are painted, and yada yada yada, that you're buying into this shiny silver. And what's helped feeding it is everybody's box opening, and they are a joy to the eye. See, but you have to remember what you're collecting for, and if you're collecting as like I was, like a backup for my IRA, or if you're collecting because you think down silver's just going to boom down the line, you got no business buying shiny silver. you should be buying silver the cheapest you can get it. And if that coincidentally also corresponds with shiny silver, then you can then in my eyes then that's a legitimate purchase. But if you're buying it just because you love it, and I hear so many people show a coin and say, "Oh, I just had to have it because look how beautiful it is," but I know it's an extreme premium. Well, if you know it's an extreme premium, stay away from the crap. Shiny is not in your best interest. Silver is in your best interest. And years down the line, how do you think I end up with a lot of that stuff that you saw? Is because I'm plucking that stuff out of the junk pile. You saw that 5 ounce panda. All right, now I got lucky. That 5 ounce panda was spot. That the other 5 ounce, those other two, the one from Singapore, that was spot. They're all in the junk pile. People are bringing them in, and in some cases they're bringing in stuff that's worth a great deal more than spot. But Tom buys them cheap, turns them over, and I end up with them. So I buy nothing because it's shiny. I buy it because it's cheap. And I think that is what most people should do because there is a bubble here and it's just growing and growing and growing as each mint decides to produce more and more and more. The mint's in business to make money. So if they can charge instead of $34, if they can charge $54, well, of course they're going to make proofs because it only cost them the amount of silver that's in it, uh, and a little bit of labor. So of course they're going to make proofs. But if you go run off and get to get a proof just because it's a proof, then you've succumbed to this silver fever. So try to watch out for that. Don't, you know. And then someone else was asking about should they send proof, should they take a proof coin? I couldn't believe they asked this. Take a proof coin out of a sealed package and send it over out to be graded. Hell no. Because one thing, a proof is as good as it gets. There's no higher quality than that. And you're going to send it off to somebody, and they might grade it. They might grade it a 69 instead of a 70. And then where are you? You've paid 20 some bucks to have it graded, and you've taken a step backwards. So my advice: stay away from the shiny unless it's in your junk box and it's cheap, or unless you're like the wildlife series, which is reasonable when they first come out. All these coins are reasonable when they first come out. So if you're buying to turn something over, then you're in the bubble and you're helping to create the bubble. And sooner or later, if you don't get out quick enough, you're going to get caught in the bubble.